You ever play a game so good it ruins other games for you? That's Uncharted 4 in a nutshell. Even in 2025, this masterpiece from Naughty Dog still looks ridiculously good. Like, wait, this came out in 2016? Kinda good. The lighting, the character animations, the insane level of detail. It's like playing a big-budget Hollywood adventure film, but you're in control. The gameplay still feels buttery smooth. Nathan Drake's movement, the gunplay, the climbing, everything is polished to near perfection. It's still one of the best action sequences in gaming history. Let's talk about the story, because this game actually has one that makes you care. It's not just a treasure hunt. It's about family, loyalty, and knowing when to walk away. The dynamic between Nate and his long-lost brother Sam adds so much emotional weight, making this more than just another action game. Most games drop you into a war zone with guns blazing, but Far Cry Primal throws you back to 10,000 BC. No guns, no grenades, just you, a spear, and a world full of things that want to eat you. And somehow, in 2025, it still feels as fresh as ever. Ubisoft took a bold risk ditching modern weapons, but it paid off big time. The combat is brutal and raw. You're not just shooting enemies, you're clubbing, spearing, and setting things on fire like a true caveman. The first time you tame a saber-toothed tiger and let it wreck an enemy camp for you? Pure satisfaction. Visually, this game still holds up incredibly well. The dense forests, towering mountains, and wild rivers make Oros feel alive. You can almost smell the damp earth and hear the distant growls of something watching you. The sound design is just as impressive, with a fully reconstructed prehistoric language that pulls you deep into the setting. You ever play a game that feels like it was ahead of its time? That's Quantum Break. Remedy's ambitious mix of cinematic storytelling, time-bending action, and Hollywood-level performances still feels unique. The game attracts with its insane time manipulation mechanics, freezing enemies mid-fight, dodging bullets in a flash, and watching the world glitch and rewind around you. It never stops feeling cool. And the destruction physics, watching debris float and explode in slow motion, never gets old. Visually, this game still looks amazing. The lighting, the character animations, and the way the world distorts when time fractures, it all holds up against modern titles. Plus, the performances by Sean Ashmore and Aidan Gillen add real weight to the story, making it feel like you're playing through a high-budget sci-fi series.
Versteckte diesen Teil seines Lebens vor mir. Nichts hatte mich auf diesen Wahnsinn, der mich dort erwartete, vorbereitet. Und selbst das war nur eine Einleitung zu den schlimmen Dingen, die später genau an diesem Ort passieren.
Some games lose their shine over time, but Battlefield 1? It still hits like a tank shell in 2025, throwing you headfirst into the brutality of World War I with a level of intensity most games can only dream of. Everything feels massive. The explosions, the chaos, the sheer scale of war. The dynamic weather and destructible environments still make every match feel unpredictable, even years later. One moment, you're charging through the mud with a bayonet. The next, a Zeppelin crashes down and reshapes the entire battlefield. The graphics? DICE went all out with the Frostbite engine, and it still holds up better than most modern shooters. The fire, the smoke, the rain-soaked trenches, it all looks stunning. Couple that with the incredible sound design, the distant echoes of gunfire, the deafening roar of artillery, and you've got a game that still feels alive. Next game is Dying Light. Even today, this game still feels incredible, blending parkour, brutal combat, and an open world that feels amazing. The movement is where it really shines. Sprinting across rooftops, vaulting over obstacles, and drop-kicking zombies never gets old. It's fluid, fast, and fun, making every escape feel like an action movie. But when night falls, that's when the real panic sets in. The volatiles come out, and suddenly, you're not the hunter anymore. You're the prey. And despite being released in 2015, Dying Light still looks fantastic. The lighting, the weather effects, the level of detail in Heron, it all holds up against modern games. Pair that with the brutal melee combat, a deep weapon crafting system, and a co-op mode that's still a blast to play, and you've got a game that refuses to age. Next up, we have Dark Souls 3. This game's still razor sharp even today. It's the perfect blend of brutal combat, haunting atmosphere, and unforgettable boss fights, and even years later, it refuses to be outdone. You feel the weight of a world on the brink of collapse. The Gothic castles, eerie swamps, and crumbling cathedrals still look breathtaking, with lighting and details that put some modern games to shame. And the bosses, graceful yet deadly Pontiff Sullivan to the sheer spectacle of the Nameless King, every fight is a test of patience, skill, and sheer determination. Combat? Flawless. Every swing, roll, and parry is precise, and the game constantly pushes you to adapt and overcome. No cheap tricks, just you, your reflexes, and whatever weapon you've mastered. And thanks to an active community, PvP duels and co-op summons are still alive and kicking. Some games are good, some are great, and then there's Titanfall 2. It still plays like a dream. Fast, fluid, and packed with some of the best FPS mechanics ever. It's a reminder that movement should feel this good in every shooter. First off, the campaign. Absolute masterpiece. In a genre where single-player stories are often an afterthought, Titanfall 2 delivers a tight, emotional, and wildly creative experience. One minute you're wall running through a futuristic war zone, the next you're jumping through time in one of the most brilliantly designed levels in FPS history. And let's be real, BT 7274 is one of the best companions in gaming. Then there's the multiplayer, pure adrenaline. The mix of parkour, gunplay, and giant titans dropping from the sky creates a gameplay loop that's still unmatched. Zipping across walls as a pilot or stomping through the battlefield in your Titan, it's fast, strategic, and insanely fun.
Domination. Dominable ready. Friendly pilot will go in my office. Friendly pilot active.
Lara Croft has been raiding tombs for decades, but Rise of the Tomb Raider still feels as fresh as ever. This game has bigger environments, better puzzles, and some of the best action-adventure gameplay out there. First off, it still looks stunning. Scaling icy cliffs in Siberia or exploring hidden ruins bathed in golden light, the detail is insane. Snow clings to Lara's clothes, fire flickers realistically in dark caves, and every location feels alive. Even against modern games, it holds its own visually. Gameplay-wise, the mix of stealth, combat, and survival feels just right. One moment, you're silently picking off enemies with a bow. The next, you're in an explosive shootout, scrambling for cover. And it's filled with clever puzzles and secrets. They make exploration truly rewarding. Back in 2016, No Man's Sky launched with sky-high expectations. And let's be honest, it crashed hard. But fast forward to 2025, and it's one of the greatest comeback stories in gaming history. What started as a bare-bones space sim has transformed into a fully realized universe, packed with endless planets, deep exploration, and actual things to do. Building a base on a lush alien world, dogfighting in deep space, or diving into the mysteries of the galaxy, there's always something pulling you forward. And it just keeps getting better. The game visuals is incredible. Every planet is unique, the weather effects are gorgeous, and the sheer scale of the universe is mind-blowing. One moment, you're walking through glowing forests under twin moons. The next, you're warping to a new system, never knowing what's waiting on the other side. When Mad Max dropped in 2015, it might have slipped under some radars, but today, it's still one of the most underrated open-world gems out there. The game perfectly captures the chaos and raw energy of the Mad Max universe, throwing you into a post-apocalyptic wasteland where survival is the name of the game. You're greeted by a vast, brutal world full of sandstorms, scavengers, and giant warlords. The reason why this game stands out even now is the vehicular combat. It's insane, with car chases, explosive battles, and enough customization to make any gearhead giddy. The magnum opus, Max's Ride, becomes your lifeline, and upgrading it is half the fun. The wasteland looks as amazing as it is deadly. The open world is massive, beautifully desolate, and feels alive despite being barren. The lighting, the weather effects, and the sound design, especially when you're tearing through a sandstorm, immerse you in a world of pure madness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on the latest and greatest games. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Got a game you'd love to see in a future video? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned and see you next time.